All right, y'all. We're back here again for another day. A daily verse, same schedule as today. I'll probably same schedule as tomorrow. So, a few couple minutes before I go to work, we'll get the daily verse out again. Oh man, I tried to go to the gym, y'all. I was really tired, but not tired enough to get in this word though. But today's daily verse comes from James 4, verse 8, which says here, "Draw near to God, and He will draw near to you. Cleanse your hands, sinners, and purify your hearts, you double-minded." Right? So, what I like to say, think here is we need to continue to seek the Lord, right? Like draw near to God, right? So we continue to seek Him every single day, right? So there's a couple verses that go with this. You could say Galatians 5:16. When you walk by the Spirit, and you'll seek less desires, right? So keep providing, keep searching for the Lord on a deeper meaning, right? And you start to see the fleshly desires start to wither away, right? And you start to see sins that you normally like on an everyday basis, just like you're fine with doing it, you might start slowly feeling conviction from it. And it means you're starting to seek the Lord a lot more, right? And that's a beautiful feeling. You're like, whoa, what is this, right? I've never experienced this, right? Like, I'm doing something that I normally do on a daily basis, but it doesn't feel right to do it, right? And that's when the Spirit is trying to convict you, right? You're trying to change your ways, so the Spirit is trying to help you change your ways, right? And so then also you could go with Matthew 6:33, seek righteousness of the kingdom, then the Lord will provide for you, right? So continue to seek Him. He's going to provide for you, right? All that stuff you want, it can come, but you got to seek the Lord first, and you got to see where you're getting that stuff from, right? Because He wants you to do it the right way, right? You can't just ask for money like with the wrong heart intentions, right? So that's why it's talking about here, cleanse your hands and purify your hearts, right? We got to have the right heart intentions for this stuff that we're about to receive, right? So also think it that way. And then we'll finish it off with Hebrews 10:12, which says here, was it 12 or 22? No, it was 22. My bad, y'all. Let us draw near with a true heart and full assurance of faith, with our hearts sprinkled, cleansed from an evil conscience, and our blood washed in pure water, right? So I also like to think about it like we can come to God like dirty, right? For a prime example, like you don't have to be perfect in your walk with God, or you could be atheist or whatever you could be. You could be lukewarm, It doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter what you had done in your past, right? If He still woke you up today, right, then you still have purpose. You still have life, right? And He still wants you to come to Him, right? So don't waste those days. Don't waste these days of you have a chance to change your life centered around Christ, right? And because once you do, it's an unimaginable feeling, right? So don't take these days for granted. Really just try to seek Him as much as you can, right? And that's why I really just tried to do every single day. And that's why getting into scripture, learning about the word more is just like huge. It's huge. And you'll start and when you get so consistent in the word and you take a couple days off, you'll start to notice like certain things in your life, and you're like, why am I struggling with this? And it's like, let me circle back around. Oh, I haven't gotten in scriptures in a couple days, right? So that stuff like that can happen, or maybe you've been consistent in scriptures, right? And then something's off, right? And he's like, maybe I need to dive more in the scriptures, right? And you might just see like a daily verse like today, right? That just might help you out for today, right? Like you might have read already, but still something, you can take anything, right? From anybody, right? You can, like the word, the Spirit, all that stuff, right? You can get it from something else, right? That's why it's amazing, right? How God works. But yeah, that's all I got for today, y'all. Well, for now, right? I'm gonna have another video out for y'all later when I get off work, but I love y'all. Jesus loves y'all more.